rubber-faced clown, star of movies like Dumb and Dumber, The Grinch, and most recently, Lemony Snicket. But wait till you see this, the real Jim Carrey, the man behind the mask. True, he can be infantile, gleefully uninhibited, all the things that make him a rarity, a bankable Hollywood star commanding $25 million a picture. But Steve Croft also found a man who's macho one minute, sensitive the next, generous and selfish, supremely confident, yet achingly insecure. And thankfully, very, very funny.
I swear to God, I turned the radio on when I got in the car and I thought, I wonder what the song is going to be when I roll up on Steve. And it was All You Need Is Love, man. How good is that? That's great.
We met him on a Sunday afternoon last month at the Fox Studios in Hollywood, and we had no idea what to expect.
I've done
no preparation.
Oh, no?
Good.
I hate preparations. Preparations are for hemorrhoids, really.
Sensing there was no way to control our subject or the action, we decided to lay back and play it by ear.
Thank you.
He's one of the last of the great clowns.
Hey!
A foil to disrupt and divert attention from the ringmaster. He wears costumes and behaves in a strange or silly manner. It's a visual, physical humor with leaps and pratfalls. And a face so pliable there's no need for grease paint or a rubber nose. He can play a villain.
Was that over the top? I can never tell.
Or a sad and wistful buffoon.
What are my chances?
Not good.
You mean not good like 1 out of 100?
More like 1 out of 1,000,000.
So you're telling me there's a chance? Yeah!
But that's not all there is to Jim Carrey, and by the time we sat down for the interview at his home in Los Angeles, he'd already spent a lot of time thinking about what he wanted to say.
Last night, I was like up till 3 in the morning. I got very little sleep because I wasn't just going to flail helplessly in front of the camera. I wasn't just going to go, I'm a wacky guy, crazy, you know. I wanted to focus in on what I believe because I want to give the world the real thing. Here we go. This is the Theater of the Macabre.
What began simply enough with a tour of his private screening room, decorated with costumes from his movies,
This is the man, the Grinch.
ended 4 hours later, with Carrey revealing a serious, complicated, introspective artist who is constantly searching for answers about himself and the world.
So what have you got it boiled down to?
Be in the moment and like live now, because this is all there is, and enjoy now like a child, and be your authentic self.
The insurance company loves when I ride this around.
Being in the moment is an essential part of his comedy. That's him in full costume on the set of Lemony Snicket's series of unfortunate events. The movie is based on a series of children's stories, and Carrey whiled away the downtime by mastering his latest toy, a personal motorized vehicle he just bought for himself.
And I got this one myself, man. I didn't need any help from you, Santa.
Speed.
It is spontaneity that drives his comic genius. We watched him do one scene 5 different times, 5 different ways.
Choo, 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 choo.
If you aren't in the moment, he says, you're either looking forward to uncertainty or back to pain and regret. And he's had plenty of that.
You have such an incredible talent for physical comedy. Where did that come from?
Desperation.
Desperation?
I had a sick mom, man. I wanted to make her feel better. Yeah.
He was the youngest of 4 children. His father was a saxophone player who became an accountant to pay the bills. When he lost that job at age 51, it changed everything for the family.
You dropped out of school when you were 16?
Yeah. I turned 16. The day I turned 16, I dropped out of school.
Because?
Well, my family had, kind of hit the skids. We were, experiencing poverty at that point, and we got a job where the whole family had to work as security guards and janitors. And I just got angry. I was angry at the world for doing that to my father. I wanted to bash somebody's head in, basically.
Is the anger and the anxiety that you have battled all these years, is that a source for your comedy, do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. People need motivation to do anything. I don't think human beings learn anything without desperation. Desperation is a necessary ingredient to learning anything or creating anything, period. If you ain't desperate at some point, you ain't interesting.
Desperation he understands. At 17, he was struggling to support his parents working comedy clubs in Toronto. At 21, he'd already made his first appearance on The Tonight Show doing impersonations.
Leonid Brezhnev. Clint Eastwood. James Dean.
The act was hugely successful, but Jim Carrey didn't want to become famous imitating other people.
I can get 2,000 people down, and I will still be saying to the world that those people are more interesting than me. It's just not true, you know?
So you threw your act out?
I threw it out.
His friends thought he was crazy, but he went back into the comedy clubs and started over, doing improv, vowing at one point to do an entirely new act every night.
And some nights it was a melee, literally, where I'd be standing trying to defend myself for doing what I was doing, people screaming at me to do my old act, or getting actually violent and angry at me. And there were a couple nights where I was literally on the tables with a broken bottle, like from here to eternity, fighting people off and stuff. And it was a crazy experiment, but it was so good because it made me comfortable with the creative process, with being on a limb, you know? And I've been there ever since.
He also started taking acting classes, and now, 28 films later and $1 billion in box office, he can pick his roles and name his price.
Can you do anything you want right now?
Sorry. Apparently not. You blocked me right away there. Anything I want? You mean professionally?
Yeah.
In that respect, I could make a toilet paper roll right now. I could go like, "This is brilliant," and they would go, "Yeah, okay." You know, I would get the backing, but you know, you have to be careful with that.
In case I don't see you. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
He wants to make films that will be popular and are interesting to him.
Yeah.
And about half the time now, those are dramatic roles, not comedies. He's already proven himself an accomplished actor, winning the first of 2 Golden Globe Awards for The Truman Show.
I am willing to lose everything to express that side of myself. I'm willing to give it all up.
And last year, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, a small art house film about love lost, a subject he's had some experience with, and he used it preparing for the role.
Sure. I was trying to speak to my ex and all this stuff and say these things, and, you know, I mean, artistically you do that.
Which ex?
Oh, I don't want to say.
Okay.
There are many. There are many that I've felt that way about, you know?
His first marriage to Melissa Womer lasted 7 years and produced a daughter, Jane, who's now 17 and the only female in his life. His second marriage to actress Lauren Hawley lasted 8 months, and his last serious relationship with Renee Zellweger ended 4 years ago. And there have been other personal struggles.
I was on Prozac for a long time. Yep, I was on Prozac for a long time, and I'm not sure. I mean, it may have helped me out of a jam for a little bit. I had to get off at a certain point because I realized that, you know, everything's just okay.
No peaks and valleys.
There are peaks, there are valleys, but they're all kind of carved and smoothed out, and it feels like a low level of despair you live in, where you're not getting any answers, but you're living okay. And you can smile at the office, you know? But it's a low level of despair.
And you don't take any of them, or you don't take anything now?
Nothing. I don't take anything. I rarely drink coffee. I'm very serious about no alcohol, no drugs. Life is too beautiful.
He draws his strength now from the spiritual side of his life. And despite a rare Los Angeles downpour,
Oh, jeez, man.
he insisted on taking us to his secret spot, where he goes to shut out the rest of the world.
You want to come? Come on. It's fun.
This is beautiful.
After a 5-minute climb up a trail on his property, we finally reach our destination.
It's where I hang out with Buddha and Krishna and, all those guys.
Are you a
Jesus. I'm a Buddhist, I'm a Muslim, I'm a Christian, I'm whatever you want me to be. It all comes down to the same thing. You're in a loving place or you're in an unloving place. If you're with me right now, we cannot be unhappy. It's not possible. It's not possible. Just try.
Would you be offended if I said I'd like to be a little drier?
His faith is personal and mystical. He believes that miracles will come true if you just believe in them. And he has his life and his career to prove it.
After talking to you for a couple of hours, I mean, I get the sense you are a big bundle of conflicting emotions.
Really?
Don't you think?
You get that sense from me?
Well, I think you're very emotional about a lot of things. It's all very close to the surface.
Yeah, it is. I've decided to be there. I only act in the movies.
Stay right here, okay? Woo!